really is about high quality, very easy to use. Anybody can do it, because we'd always had this element of we're going to import your content from the social profiles and your website and try to kind of give you a head start on video creation. But now with GPT-3, we're like, oh, well, you really can generate truly custom, unique content that plays very nicely with video software that we already had. So we jumped on that pretty quickly. And over the last 18 months, we've been layering on all the cool new generative AI opportunities and pairing that with video creative that we already had in place to make something that really is pretty unique.
So basically you're saying that you're basically taking the existing content and then you plug it into your system and you get like a script, a voiceover of that script and all the visuals just automated.
Yeah, exactly. You get custom text, custom visuals, images pulled in from your social profile, footage, voiceover script, and the actual voiceover. We could even we could look at it. We could do it all under 2 minutes. So we could even do that live.
Okay, let's see it. We'll put you to the test.
Welcome, everyone, to today's episode of the VidTao Podcast. This is VidTao co-founder Ian Naj, and we have today Mr. Alex Persky-Stern. He is CEO at Waymark, and Waymark is an amazing AI-based video creation tool. So you can basically give it your landing page, give it a little bit of context, and it will create amazing videos in under 2 minutes. And from there, you can tweak it, you can customize it, or just ship it right then and there, launch it. The quality is pretty amazing, and they continue to add more and more features. So Alex is going to walk us through the journey of how Waymark has grown to this point, talk a little bit about how Waymark is currently acquiring customers, and also show us the tool. It's really cool, and it's also got a bunch of templates specific for advertisers that you all can check out. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into the podcast with Alex.
This podcast is brought to you by VidTao.com. VidTao is our free YouTube ad library and spy tool, research tool. It's VidTao.com. At VidTao, we have close to 1 million unlisted YouTube video ads that you can search, find, discover how they're doing on a day-by-day basis. So you can really see what ads your competitors are running, see ads in different markets that you can model to create new winning ads for yourself, and a whole lot more. It's all there inside VidTao.com. Plus, we have a premium edition. So the database is free to access, but then we also have a premium edition where you have full unlimited access to the database. And inside there, we also provide training. So we also run an agency called Inceptly. That's INCEPTLY, Inceptly.com, where we've managed over $150 million on YouTube. It's a video traffic agency, and we've worked with everyone from brands like Descript.com, Huel, to real scrappy direct response info products, supplements, health, beauty, e-commerce, you name it, we've done it, and love sharing what we've learned. Every week we drop new training in there, everything from YouTube ad media buying to running e-commerce creatives on YouTube to hardcore tracking and attribution tutorials to really level up your data science game for advertising, and everything in between. Right now, as we speak, we're working on a training regarding YouTube Shorts. Hopefully we'll be live by the time you hear this. On and on and on. This is our passion, is video advertising, and we want to share it with you inside of VidTao Premium. And actually right now, for a limited time, you can get access to VidTao Premium for a very special price. So if you go to VidTao.com, sign up for free, check out the database, upgrade to Premium for this very special price, so you get access to all of the database and all the trainings. And also wanted to add that at Inceptly, we do free brainstorm calls with clients like you. So if you ever want to get help or ask questions about your YouTube ads, your video traffic on other platforms, we're available to chat. Just go to inceptly.com/call, CALL, and set up a time to chat. It's free, and we'd love to speak with you. Our team's waiting to speak with you. So without further ado, let's get into the show.
Alex, welcome to the VidTao Podcast. So great to have you here.
Good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. So, I mean, Waymark, for years, video has been a hurdle, right? Creating video has been a hurdle for advertisers. And we're a video advertising agency, so we've seen this firsthand. And still to this day, it it can be a somewhat of a struggle for a lot of times smaller businesses, especially, to be able to invest in videos. That's why Waymark really jumped out as a cool company to talk to, and you as the CEO, just wanted to get you on here and pick your brain on what exactly you're doing and how you're incorporating AI and all that. So really excited to chat with you.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. We see the same thing. That's why we have a company.
That's cool. So, I mean, just backing up a little bit, your background it's interesting because you're more you're come from like a product background at Waymark, which is really cool. So how do you get into that position to be able to really work with this very, very interesting, innovative product?
Yeah, for sure. My real entry point in my career was in data. Going all the way back, I was a math major in school and spent a lot of time, looking at optimizing and understanding all forms of data, but conversion rate optimization and the product were a big part of that. And, I hadn't even really known that product was a field I could get into when I first started. But as I spent more time with that, I definitely fell in love with all forms of product, but especially using data and products to build things that people really need and really solve the problem. And that naturally led me into more of a product management, product ownership side. And ultimately, I think that's a really great path to lead a business from, because ultimately business success should be built on product quality. So that's always been our philosophy.
Makes sense. So, can you walk us through what was the first iteration of Waymark? So when you hopped in, like, what did it look like? Obviously, it wasn't as it is now. You've done a ton of amazing work to get it where it's at, but what was the first iteration that you came in contact with?
Yeah, for sure. So Waymark really started as trying to make advertising really easy for really local businesses. And so we actually started about 5 years ago with a product that automated the creation of Facebook advertisements and went all the way through to management of those platforms. So those were all static, but it was kind of generally created directly from your online content. So that spirit has really stuck with us and actually has put us in a really good position as we've moved into this more generative AI world. Some of that kind of done for you automated philosophy has really just gotten a lot stronger in terms of what's possible. So over time, we moved from static images into video and went away from the management side because the creative was really what people were seeing a ton of value in. And we've had kind of a Squarespace approach to that. One of our leaders was an early Squarespace person, and he's brought a lot of that philosophy to the company. So it really is about high quality, very easy to use. Anybody can do it. And that really led us into the AI world. So when GPT-3 dropped about 18 months ago now, the previous July, we saw how naturally it fit into our product, because we'd always had this element of we're going to import your content from the social profiles and your website and try to kind of give you a head start on video creation. But now with GPT-3, we were like, oh, well, you really can generate truly custom, unique content that plays very nicely with the video software that we already had. So we jumped on that pretty quickly. And over the last 18 months, we've been layering on all the cool new generative AI opportunities and pairing that with the video creative that we already had in place to make something that really is pretty unique.
So basically, you're saying that you're basically taking the existing content and then you plug it into your system and you get like a script, a voiceover of that script and all the visuals just automated.
Yeah, exactly. You get
That's amazing.
Custom text, custom visuals, images pulled in from your social profile, footage, voiceover script, and the actual voiceover. We could look at it. We could do it all under 2 minutes. So we could even do that live.
So, okay, let's see it. We'll put you to the test. So
timer's
starting out. Boom.
All right, here we go. I'll share my screen. Let's see. There's the nice Zoom screen, the Zoom dialogue. Here's Waymark.com. Anybody is free to come try this demo. All you gotta do is click the try the demo button. It is all free. You can just do it with a free account to try out the demo if you want to. So basically, this is the first step that I talked about, where you go find a business. So maybe I'll just do the demo business, but this works for any business that has an online profile. All we're going to do is go search the web for social profiles on your website. So when I search here, we're basically doing that search. You can see this ice cream shop in Los Angeles has a few locations. Let me just do this first one. And so this first step is something that was kind of from our history. We are going in and pulling in information from your social. We're getting images, we're getting kind of basic contact info, location, that kind of stuff. We're also reading your whole website using AI to summarize that. So we end up with a pretty good picture of what this business is all about, as well as whatever assets they have online. So there you go. You can see we are building out this profile. It's got the logo, images are streaming in. We generated a color palette based on the website. And then in the background, you've also got all that basic information about the business, like where it is, what the contact info is, but also really like all the key points that they talk about in their own online presence. So we can really write in their voice and about the business. So then you can pick a number of different formats. We're adding to that all the time too, but you got anything widescreen works on YouTube as well as TV and connected TV. Hulu and Roku are good partners, and then more tall stuff for more social platforms. And then if you're familiar with like a Chat GPT or DALL-E or anything like that, these instructions are really in that spirit. You can type truly whatever you want or nothing at all. Actually, our most popular instruction is writing nothing, and you'll just get an overview. And that's the nice thing about pulling all this kind of content in from online. We already know a lot about the business, so you don't have to give anything. But maybe we do a winter ice cream commercial. Stick with the fun vibe. And when I click generate here, we're basically taking all of that information that we pulled, that profile that we've generated for the business, incorporating your instructions and the vibe, and then using that to write that custom text script, select images from your online presence that should match the text on screen, apply your branding, so your logo, the colors, contact info, all that kind of stuff. And then also writing a voiceover script that should match the text script, and then applying a synthetic voice so that you're going to have really a full 30-second commercial that you can watch. So this is different every time. It truly, if you've like played with any of these AI models, you know it is a legitimately unique each time. So I honestly have no idea what this is going to be about, and we can go see what happened. Why don't we press play?
When the temperature drops, there's only one thing that can warm you up. A delicious, creamy cone from Wanderlust Creamery. With over 200 5-star reviews, it's clear that our mouth-watering ice cream, desserts, and drinks are a hit. Order online for pickup or delivery today and treat yourself to a unique, handcrafted experience. From the first bite to the last, you'll be glad you did. Visit our website or call us at 818-774-9888 to order.
That's
there
amazing.
You go.
Awesome. Very cool. Can I ask you a question? So
yeah, of course, please.
Yeah. So okay, let's say that was an insanely quick first draft. Unbelievable, honestly. And the voiceover is very human. So I think it's fantastic. Okay, so let's say we wanted to edit a few things in there. Is there a way we can actually go in there and change things?
100%. So first, if you didn't love exactly what came out and you just want to give another shot, you can just click generate again, and you're going to have all of your recent videos. So you can maybe do 3, pick the one that you like. But let's just jump right in. And this kind of goes back to that Squarespace story that we've had, which is really about really, really simple editing. So if you wanted to say, hey, we can maybe make this copy a little bit stronger, I can, we could say, maybe I think this is something they talk about. You can go ahead and type that in. We've got all of the images that we pulled for this business are right here. You can go say, let's maybe toss that one's a little more fun, and you can do some kind of deeper cropping, image editing, all that kind of stuff. And you can also change the colors, the music. You can edit the voiceover directly if you wanted to maybe say something a little bit different and choose a different voice. So
nice.
Yeah, you really can make any content adjustments you want.
Nice. I was just going to change the color of the font, which seems like that's just super easy to do there.
Yeah,
so
100%.
That's awesome.
Great thought.
Cool. Yeah, that's fantastic. Very cool. So, okay, so you basically, so this was initially, you were kind of doing the same thing with the image ads, pulling from the product sites, and then this just evolved into, now you got the full video production automated. You literally just click the button and boom, out pops the video. I'm wondering, so are people using this for, obviously business owners can use this obviously to make their own videos, but it seems like this would be an amazing outreach tool for, let's say, like local marketing people. You can just go bang out videos and send them to businesses and say, hey, like I want to make some videos for you, and here's an example of what I can do.
Yeah, 100%. Very sharp. That is actually probably our number one use case. We do direct with businesses, but we also do a lot with agencies and media companies that are doing a lot of video production. And yeah, right. There's always been kind of this idea of using spec to help get people engaged and paying attention. And people do that for bigger opportunities. They also do that for other mediums, like radio does that a lot because it's a little faster and easier to whip up a radio spec. But yeah, now we're seeing people can actually do that with video because, like we just saw in 2 minutes, you can have something that is going to engage people, give you an idea. And even if it's not exactly what they want, you can go in and make edits, or, you could go with a different production format ultimately if you choose to.
That's really cool. And so I know that you just had a partnership recently with a Gamut, right? It's like a connected TV, local oriented connected TV platform. I'm really curious about that. Given that, usually connected TV is like mega brands blasting branding to the masses. So like, I'm interested in that transformation that you're on the front lines for.
Yeah, 100%. Connected TV is one of the most fun and exciting categories. It's growing so fast, and Netflix and Disney are joining the fray of ad-supported options, and so there's going to be a lot of opportunity there. And yeah, right now, as with a lot of new advertising opportunities, the big brands typically get a head start, but it's a really, really great ROI and positive opportunity, especially as it's growing. So local businesses are definitely starting to see the opportunity, and the big challenge is it is really hard to make video creative that's going to work on those platforms. So that's been a really fun category for us because our platform does make it really easy to make it something that will run on TV or connected TV. You honestly, like what we just watched, we could just download it. That is ready to run on any connected TV platform. So we're actually the only tech platform that's in the Hulu and Roku creative directories because of that. And yeah, we're really just trying to democratize the creative, make it possible for someone that doesn't have a huge budget to get involved.
Yeah, that's super neat. So basically someone is running ads in the self-serve platforms for Roku, for instance. So Waymark's in there. You can just generate ads right there in the platform and click launch and you'll be up and running.
Yeah, exactly. So basically Roku and Hulu both have creative directories where they have a couple agencies that they work with, and then us on the tech side where, you can just go in, basically do exactly what you just saw, get a video and upload it to either of those platforms and it'll run.
Wow. So, I mean, are you at all surprised, with, like you said, you really plugged into GPT for all this, you said 18 months ago, right? So, which is like a lifetime ago when it comes to, quote unquote, generative AI. So have you been at all surprised with how Chat GPT has taken off in the past? What has it been, like 2 months?
I know.
Crazy.
I haven't been surprised because we've been paying attention for a while now and we've been seeing how good it's getting, but it is overall the industry is going so fast. There are these text models, the language models like a Chat GPT, or we're using some kind of similar parts to generate the text, but there's a ton of other stuff too. Like all this image generation is really interesting. There's also computer vision is making really amazing progress. So some of the voice stuff that we just heard, that's all come so far, so fast. So, really it is about both keeping up with the technology and then putting it together in really useful, practical ways, because they still can be pretty unwieldy if you just kind of jump in there and try to get something useful out of them.
For sure. I mean, so how do you and your team stay on top of what's happening in, cutting edge AI tech?
Yeah, it's a lot of things. I mean, mostly it's paying a lot of attention. We do have a partnership with OpenAI as well, who's behind ChatGPT and all these different GPT models that helps us get an early peek at things that are coming up. But yeah, reading the research papers. Really, one thing that is fun about this world is the research is staying ahead of the products by quite a bit. So people don't really hear about them until the products come out, but there's, like pretty heady research papers coming out ahead of time. So it's, if that's stuff that you're into, you can kind of get a little preview of what's coming up next by reading the research.
Do you have any, this might be part of your sort of secret sauce, so you can feel free to take the fifth, plead the fifth, but do you have any particular Twitter accounts or individuals that you follow around the research side of things, sort of canaries in the coal mine around this?
Great question. There are quite a few. I actually, it could be fun. We could generate a little list and send it your way. I could talk to our R&D team who spends a lot of time on that. I have a few favorites, but I think that, like a top 10 list could be a fun thing to share.
Yeah, because it seems like you've been clearly ahead of the curve for years now, which is really neat. And I'm curious, where do you see things going next with Waymark, if you can share?
Yeah. Of course. I'm always happy to share. Basically, we are really proud of, it's a funny mix. I do feel very proud of what we've got out there. I think it is at the front of what's possible right now. But also when you are seeing it, you're like, oh, in some ways I'm like embarrassed to do a demo because you can see how much better it's going to be in just a couple months. But our focus for this year really is on quality. We've always taken a pretty strong position on the quality of the thing that comes out has to be really good. That's always been a knock on AI, and I think it continues to be a challenge where it's like, this is cool, but is it really practical? And we are really trying to make things that are very practically useful for local businesses. And so we just see a lot of opportunity to continue upping the quality of what comes out. So what we just watched, good in a lot of ways, but we see a lot of opportunity to just up that level. So that's the number one thing that we're focusing on. The next layer will also be everything in one. So right now we kind of got a 30-second commercial out, but it's really not hard to imagine that also being a full package that would work for every possible placement across video, static platforms, lengths, everything that you might need, kind of getting a whole package in one. That's a really natural next step too.
Nice. So in terms of how you've actually grown your user base, has it been mostly word of mouth, or what strategies? Obviously you have an amazing product, so it speaks for itself, like very shareable, viral, etc. But what's worked well for you? And I'd also ask, what have you been surprised that didn't work when it comes to acquiring new users?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, the biggest thing for us definitely has been in the word of mouth category. We do a lot of taking calls from people who either used to work at a company that used Waymark and moved on, or heard about it through one of a million ways. So that is, we definitely try to be product led in that way and let the product speak for itself. In terms of what hasn't worked, what haven't we tried? There are a lot of things that have we've tried over time. I think the biggest thing that we've really learned is the importance of picking a very specific user and use case and being exactly what's needed for that use case. So I think when we've really let ourselves stray from that, that's where we've done things that haven't worked, where we said, hey, what we just watched is great for a video ad, but it's not hard to imagine it being for maybe a learning and development video or a bunch of these other kinds of videos, and try to break into some other use cases, but maybe prematurely or in a way that we weren't as built for. And every time I am reminded that you really have to have the user, the use case, and exactly what their needs are in mind, and solve it to get that kind of word of mouth growth that you are looking for.
Got it. So what kind of strategies can you share in terms of how you actually go about collecting that information from your ideal customer? Just curious about that.
Yeah, for sure. We spend a lot of time talking to customers. That's ultimately getting those first users is always a challenge. Talking to friends and family or anyone, just going into a store and seeing if someone will talk to you is kind of gets you off the ground there. But yeah, one thing that we definitely make a priority is collecting ratings from users whenever they're using the platform, so that we can get in touch with all types. You want the good, the bad, and the medium to understand what's working, what's not. So first, we use Intercom, which I love as a product for all kinds of things. They started as a chat bot, or a chat interface, but They've done a lot of different kinds of stuff. They've recently added surveys, so we use that, and I'd totally recommend that product for a lot of different uses. But that makes it really easy to collect user information and then get in touch with them about first collect kind of form-based information and then also follow up for the deeper dive.
Got it. And then so you get feedback, how do you prioritize figure out what to prioritize in the product, next steps in the product, next feature roadmap?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. I'd say, a lot of it is, we do not use kind of one of the big frameworks. There's pros and cons to using a framework. We go a little more intuition based for some of the very detailed level decisions, but at the high level, the biggest thing that we try to really, really keep in mind is have a very clear definition of who the user is and what the use case is, and then live by the 80-20 rule, which in this context means 80% of our work needs to be directly aligned to the core user and their use case, and 20% can be forward-looking around maybe that next market that you're interested in, discovering, what are these other use cases that seem promising? Is there really something there? So just being very diligent and focused about sticking to the most important thing. And one other thing that I think is really a little unique about us, but that I am, I think, starting to see some more companies adopt and would really encourage is there's often a lot of different options that would all be good, especially in a world that's moving as fast as generative AI. So kind of within that 80% of we've got a long list of features that would all be great. We really try to follow what would be fun and exciting to build, because the enthusiasm of the team is such a huge factor that's often overlooked when you think about a product roadmap. And it has to be solving a customer need, but if it's something we're enthusiastic about building, and there's so much fun stuff to build in this world, then we'll build it faster and better and ultimately drive more value.
That's awesome. That makes a lot of sense. But you see this next year definitely doubling down on your existing ideal customer. Yeah. Got it.
Primarily.
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people in that fit that. I mean, do you have any idea what the actual, addressable market is within, let's say, how would you define it, first of all? I'm just curious. And then what size?
Yeah, good question. This is comes back to that initial question, where our core market right now really is that media companies and agencies. We work most with organizations that are generating video for local businesses, even more so than direct to the businesses themselves, although we always welcome and love our direct small business customers. So that is really where that core market is, and it is honestly growing rapidly, especially on the video side. There is the creative portion of the agency and media company world is continuing to grow, especially in that connected TV space pretty rapidly. It's seeing 20+% year-over-year growth.
That's crazy. So, I mean, you got a lot of people to serve right there. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of and it's a lot of, it is an area that is largely unserved right now too. Yeah. A lot of these local businesses just don't have options right now.
Yeah, it makes sense. I noticed you have it was a 9.5 star rating. Are you able to share your NPS score with us?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Our NPS score is, I think, 81.
Nice.
So we, it's the rare person who comes in below a 7, but mostly we're getting, I think it was 90% 10s or something like that.
That's insane. And so people, have they typically tried another software, that does maybe one part of Waymark? I'm just curious how they come into being in your space, maybe they've just been hiring Fiverr editors. I'm just curious about this.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, there are some other great products out there. I'd say probably the biggest place that people come from is, we were doing it ourselves. There's a lot of we have a production team, or we outsource it to someone like Fiverr or a local shop. And ultimately, we find that we really don't replace those kinds of options. We are supplementary to them because those are just not scalable or affordable for the types of businesses that we're serving.
Yeah.
There are some other self-serve video options. none of them really support the connected TV space. So that has come up a few times. That's one reason that people come to us, and none of them really are AI driven. They're more like drag and drop type of interfaces. So that's mostly what's out there right now.
Interesting. And so just on the performance side, so we haven't really done any like Hulu ads, let's say. We've done a tremendous amount of YouTube, and even TV placements on YouTube. But I'm just curious. So local businesses they see results on connected TV. That's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, the minimums have come really far down. I believe both Hulu and Roku offer $500 schedules. Yeah. And, it's when the creative is cheap or free, you can do a lot with that.
Yeah. And there's some kind of about those particular connected TV, it has this sort of, wow, you're on TV, you're famous kind of situation where I would say, being on a YouTube ad there's some element of that, but I wouldn't say, at least in my sort of subjective opinion, it's not as sort of impactful. It's like seeing someone on actual network TV. It's like, oh wow, you're
right.
You're a big deal.
Right. There's like big shows on these platforms, and it's all available. So it is. It's cool, right? It's like there's a even just fun element. There is building your brand not only through the actual advertising itself, but even through the placement. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. So where can we have a ton of video advertisers, as you know, on our list, and who are going to be watching this, and where can they go try it out? I mean, I think it would be interesting to experiment, in even like a hardcore direct response framework with Waymark. So I'd love to just let people know where they can go try it.
Yeah, 100%. And I know I've been mentioning the CTV world quite a few times, but probably our number one use case is, your typical platforms. So it absolutely is good for that too. If you just go to waymark.com, you can click that try the demo button like I just did, and you can go try it out yourself. There's also a link to pricing. We've got self-serve pricing as well as teams and larger enterprises. So we work with all kinds of businesses. And what's also nice is you really can try the whole thing before you buy. So you're free to do that demo, and that's exactly what you'll get as a paying customer too.
Awesome. Well, everybody go check that out, and we'll definitely be checking it out ourselves. And Alex, great to have you on the show today, and really appreciate you sharing all your journey with us.
Yeah, this is fun. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this episode of VidTao Podcast. Again, my name is Ian Naj, co-founder of VidTao, and really appreciate you having a listen. And it means a lot. So if you have any feedback, go ahead and email us at info@vidtao.com. Love to hear your ideas for future shows, future guests. If you want to be a guest, let us know. Love to chat. Also, just as a reminder, this show has been sponsored by VidTao, which is our free YouTube ad library. VidTao.com. Again, you can go to VidTao and look up over 1 million ads at this point inside of VidTao. They're all unlisted YouTube ads. You can see what your competitors are running, track the results on a day-by-day basis, find new ads inside of our YouTube ad library, VidTao. And we also have a premium edition of VidTao. So the library is free to access, but for full unlimited access to the library, we have a premium edition of VidTao. We also have training from our Inceptly.com agency, which is our sister company to VidTao, where we've managed over $150 million on YouTube. We provide training on media buying, creatives, tracking, copywriting, everything in between. It's all there inside of VidTao Premium. And right now we're running a very special deal on VidTao Premium, and you can go claim that right now at vidtao.com. When you sign up for free, you'll see the offer to join Premium, and go there and check that out. And last thing, we also do free brainstorm calls with our agency Inceptly. Go to inceptly.com/call. And we love brainstorming with you on your video advertising and just marketing in general. Love to chat. So inceptly.com/call, CALL. Would love to speak with you. So thanks again for joining us, and looking forward to the next show. In the meantime, have a great week.